Good morning all. Today let's discuss how to draw the elevation view of a steel truss. So for this purpose, first of all, you should draw a line sketch of the entire steel truss. Here I have drawn a line sketch with all the angles marked. Here let's see how to draw this line sketch. So for this purpose, in question they have given that the length of the or the span of the steel truss available is 7500 millimeter. So here 7500 millimeter means 7.5 meter. So for my convenience, I am taking this 7.5 meter as 7.5 centimeter in my rough line sketch. So here I started with drawing a 7.5 centimeter line. So after that, what should I do? I simply want to take a 30-degree angle in this side. So here I should draw a 30-degree angle in this direction, and in this direction also I should draw a 30-degree angle like this. And after that, I should drop a perpendicular from this vertex to this direction. So here I am getting a point like this. And after that, what should I do? I simply want to take a 30-degree angle to this direction. So here it is 30 degree. Here also it's 30 degree. And now I am getting a point here. And from this point, I should draw a perpendicular upward. And after that, again, I should draw a 30-degree angle from this point to this direction. So in this way, I am getting one side of this line sketch, and in the same way you should complete the remaining side also. So here the span should be marked as 7500 millimeter. So in that way you can complete the rough line sketch of the required steel truss. Now after drawing this line sketch, I should start drawing the full figure. So for this purpose, I should consider the available space from the drawing sheet. So here you can simply measure it like this to this 30 centimeter, and after that around 20, that means roughly around 50 centimeter you can utilize in the horizontal direction, and in the vertical direction around 30 centimeter is available. So out of this 50 centimeter by 30 centimeter, you should add the entire line sketch. Here the entire line sketch need not be drawn, but around up to this much portion you should draw, because I have already told that you need not draw the entire portion from here to here, because it is having a symmetry. So this much portion is similar to this much portion. So you should draw only this part, but you should add these details also. So you should take somewhat here. So up to this only you should draw. So if you want to consider the entire length, it will come around 7500 millimeter. But if you are considering up to this much only, then how much it will come? You should divide. Okay, 7500 divided by 2. It will come 3750 millimeter. So up to here it will come 3750 millimeter. But you should move somewhat up to here. So around 4000 millimeter you should draw. So you need not draw the entire 7500 millimeter, but only around 4000 millimeter you should draw. So this 4000 millimeter, here for this 40 centimeter line, you are having around 4000 millimeter span or 400 centimeter span. So the scale will be 40 centimeter divided by 400 centimeter. That means 1:10. So with a scale of 1:10, you can finish the entire figure in the available space. So here the next step is to check the given figure. So here what you actually should do is simply observe a steel truss and take down all the measurements in practice. So here I have given you the sample figure. So from this figure you can find out the actual length of all the parts of the steel truss. Here in this line sketch it's given that the length is 7500 millimeters. So in the available space, by considering symmetry and all, I should take the center of the drawing sheet for making this drawing. Here I should provide some space below this available space to add the sectional view. So starting with this 4000 millimeter, here you should draw a 40 centimeter line like this. So like this you should draw a 40 centimeter line which represents 4000 millimeter in the field. So here after drawing this line you should draw this line. So here you should make an angle of 30 degree. So on your drafter you can set 30 degree. Here it is 30 degree. So simply you can draw a line like this. Okay, you can extend this line, and here what will be this much distance? Here it is up to this much you will get a 75 centimeter. So up to this much you will get a 75 divided by 2. 75 divided by 2 which is equal to 37.5 centimeters. So from here to here it will be 37.5 centimeter. So you can mark that point as a point which is exactly up to this point. So this point represents this point. So here from this point you should draw a perpendicular. So here simply you can draw a perpendicular like this. After that you should finish this triangle, and from here you should draw the remaining portion, and for that purpose you should make an angle of 30 degree again. So here you can draw it like this, and after that you should finish the drawing. So next step is to draw this line. So here from this point I should draw a 30 degree line. So 30 degree I should set here. After After that I should draw from this point like this. Okay, after that, once I am getting this point, I can simply draw a perpendicular from this point to this direction. Okay, and after that I should draw again a 30-degree angle. So here I should set that angle and I should draw like this. So in that way I am getting this simple line sketch transferred to this much available area. So I should do after that I should erase all this line sketch. So if I am going to erase all this line sketch, then what is the need of drawing all this? So here what you should do is you should make an impression of the line sketch on the paper, and if you get an impression of the line sketch, then you can convert it into a double line. Here from the given image you can see that this double line represents an angle section. So this figure represents the cross-sectional view of this angle section. So here you are provided with a double line here. That double line represents this portion and this edge represents this portion. So altogether you should draw 3 lines, and up to the midpoint of this width. So through the midpoint of this width the line sketch should go. So for convenience I am not erasing this line sketch, simply I am drawing along with this line sketch. So here what should I do? I should know the width of this available double line. Okay, so here it's given that it's a Indian standard angle of 75 by 75 by 6. So here the 75 by 75 by 6 means it is having a width of 75 millimeter. So 75 millimeter means 7.5 centimeter. So from here to here it is having a length of 7.5 centimeter. So that 7.5 centimeter should be 7.5 millimeter on the drawing sheet. So the distance between these two double lines should be 7.5 millimeter. So 7.5 millimeter I should take. So 7.5 divided by 2. .75. So I should mark 3.5 here and again a 3.5 here. So the distance will be 7.5. So I should draw that double line. Okay. So in this way I am getting a double line, and here again you should make a double line. Here what is the width of this double line, or what is the distance between these two double lines? It's given that it is 75 by 75 by 6. That means the thickness given is 6 millimeter. Here simply I can draw the cross section of this angle section like this. So this angle section represents this figure. Here this length is 7.5 centimeter and this length is also 7.5 centimeter, and this thickness, is 6 millimeter. 6 millimeter. So here, in actual condition, the dimension is like this. So you should convert this dimension into our scale of 1:10. So how much will be the dimensions on paper? Here this 7.5 centimeter means 0.75 centimeter. Okay, that means 7.5 millimeter. Okay, so this length will be 7.5 millimeter, and this length will be 7.5 millimeter. That means this length should be 7.5 millimeter. Okay, now our rough line sketch goes through the midpoint of the double line. So this distance you will get half of the 7.5. That means 3.75 millimeter. Okay, so from the line sketch you should take 3.75 millimeter in this direction, and another 3.75 millimeter in this direction, and you should make the double line. So after making this double line, you should make this line. So up to this much, how much will be the length? Here in actual situation it is 6 millimeter. So in the paper it should be 0.6 millimeter. So on your drafter scale you should take a 0.6 millimeter. Here it is not possible to take a 0.6 millimeter, so you simply take half of a millimeter roughly, and you can draw this line. Okay, like this. Here it should be, the distance between these two lines should be 0.6 millimeter. Roughly it should be 0.6 millimeter, and in that way you can draw the entire double lines. Here you know it is an angle section. Once again I am telling you, and this will look like this in the isometric view. So here you can connect it with a bolt, and here also you can connect it with a bolt to a nearby section. So in that way you should draw the entire figure. Complete the entire doubling of the entire line. So once you double the entire line, you can simply erase at some portions to incorporate all these details. Okay, like this you should erase at a particular sections, and here this represents, it is a section and it is extending towards this direction. Here this is a cross-sectional view of this angle section, and here it is the cross-sectional view of this angle section, and it is the cross-sectional view of this angle section. Here these circles represents bolts. These are bolts, and how much will be the diameter of these bolts? Here it is given that here it is not given the diameter of the bolt, so simply you can take some 20 mm bolt or something. So for 20 mm bolt on the drawing sheet you should make a 2 mm diameter circle. So simply you can draw the diameter of the circle as 2 mm, and you should provide it at this portion. Okay, here you should have a gusset plate, and that gusset plate you can draw after completing all the double lining. Okay, so after double lining you should erase at particular distances and incorporate these details and then you can draw the bolts, and then you can draw the gusset plates. Rough sketch, you will get all the real dimensions, but in this figure also it is missing some dimensions, just like this distance. So how much you will take this distance, or if you want a dimension that is not given in the question, then how you will find out that dimension? That you can simply do. Just think, you want to measure this much distance, so how you will measure it? Here I know that in field the distance between this line and this line is 7.5 centimeters. So from here to here it is 7.5 centimeter. Okay, and in this figure let me measure how much distance. It is some 4 millimeter. Okay, so 4 millimeter in this figure means 7.5 centimeter in the field. That means here they have taken a scale of 4 millimeter by 75 millimeter. That means 4 by 75. A scale of 1:18.75. Here 4 by 75 means 1 divided by 18.75. So for drawing this image they have used a scale of 1:18.75. So if you want to calculate the measurements that I have not given, then what you should do? So definitely you should take a printout of this given soft copy, and you should measure the scale that is available, and you should convert this distance into the real distance. How to convert this? Here you should measure this line. It is 6 millimeter. Okay, so for 4 millimeter actually it is 7.5 centimeter. So for 6 millimeter, how much it will be? Simply cross multiply 6 into 7.5 divided by 4. So I am getting 11.25. So actually the distance between these lines is how much? 11.25 centimeters. So now you should convert it into our scale. So here in our scale 11.25 centimeter means how much? 1.125 centimeter, because we are using here a scale of 1:10. So once you want to draw this distance on your drawing sheet, here you have used 1:10 drawing scale. So actually the length of this distance is 11.25. Okay, 11.25 centimeter. So this 11.25 centimeter should be converted into our scale of 1:10. So you will get a distance of 1.125 centimeters. So for drawing this line, you should take a distance of 1.125 centimeter from here. So in that way you can draw this line. So here you can observe how I have measured this distance, even though that distance is not given in question. So even if I am not given all the dimensions, you can simply measure the dimensions from a hard copy of the figure, and simply you can find out the scale that they have used here, and you should convert it into the actual dimension, and from that actual dimension you can convert it into your scale, and you can decide how much distance you should provide on your drawing sheet. So in that way, step by step you can draw. So here first you have drawn the entire angle sections, and after that you should draw the bolts, and after that you can take the dimensions of these gusset plates. I have not given the dimensions of the sides of this drawing sheet, so sides of this gusset plates. So you should measure these lengths and you should convert it into scale. So it is using the scale you can convert it into actual dimensions, and from that actual dimensions you can convert again it into your dimensions on your drawing sheet, and in that way you can find out the distance of all these lines on your drawing sheet, and that distances you can simply draw, and after that you can decide the dimensions of these lines. Here they have given the dimensions, so you simply need to convert it into our scale and draw this. So in that way, after drawing all these sections, you can go for the asbestos sheet here. Here, after drawing all this, you can simply measure this circular portion and the concrete base, and after that hatching and all, then labeling, all this you can do, and after that you can simply draw this isometric view also. Here you need not consider this scale. You can take whatever scale and simply draw the isometric view. So in that way you can finish the entire steel truss. Here at last I want to tell you one more thing. For the completion of the entire figure, you may need to measure some distances that need not be labeled, for just like here this point represents this point on our full figure. Okay, so this point is similar to this point, and you should know how much extension you should provide, like this. So up to this only available from your line sketch. Okay, after that you should extend it up to this much length. So even if you are extending it to this much length, you need not to label that dimension. So how to find out this distance? So this distance also you can take from the hard copy of your question, and you can convert it into the scale, and after converting it into scale you will get the actual dimension of this extension, and from that actual dimension you can simply convert it into your scale of 1:10, and in that way you can draw that line also. So here what I want to tell you is that whatever dimension you need you can find out even if it is not given. So in that way you can finish this entire steel truss.